Hey, that's all I gotta say. We're out. No. Hey, what's going on, guys? We're out. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Drewski from Cryptid Warfare and Conspiracies podcast. And guys, we got a banger coming up right now. I got a good buddy of mine, Joe. He is from the Ancient Enigma Files podcast. He's got an awesome YouTube channel. Guys, he comes out with so much good stuff. But also, guys, before we get into that and what we're going to talk about, I am a big supporter of small businesses. So I'm going to give a couple buddies of mine a shout out. If you guys need a good window cleaning or construction window cleanup, hit up Berry Hill Window Cleaning. And then if you guys need any gravel or anything like that towed or any mulch or anything like that, anything construction-wise, or if not, anything with the house or whatnot, if you guys need anything hauled out, call Bearded Brothers Trucking Company. And if you guys need any good merch, this guy makes a lot of my shirts. He's a good dude. He's a good buddy of mine I actually work with. His name is Chris. He owns New City Hustlers up here in Murfreesboro. And then if you guys need any good ammo, what we use a lot when we go shooting and hunting cryptids, we use burrow bullets. So anyways, guys, I'll have all these people's businesses in the show notes and everything. You guys want to check them out, support them. And if you guys need any custom patches done, one of my good buddies out of the Tack Patch, he makes some awesome custom patches. He's made me so many patches, especially for the guys on the CW Ops team and stuff. Good dude. He supports veterans. He supports law enforcement. So great guy. Hit him up. And if you guys have any critter problems, I should say, you guys should hit up CW Operations and Survival. They also consult. So if you guys need anything like that, hit them up. I'll have everything in the show notes, guys. I'm done with that, so let us move on to the show, guys. Go ahead.
And if your daughter's dating somebody you don't like, invite me to dinner. I'll handle that.
Yes, call Joe. Joe.
I'll handle that, right?
Yes, that's why I call him Wingman Joe. You need any problem?
I will get rid of that dude, man. 10 minutes, it's no problem, man. We'll get right to it.
May I introduce to you guys Joe, Ancient Enigma Files podcast. That's what I'm talking about. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, player? How you doing, man? Hey, I got to tell you, man, welcome to the 1,000 Club, dude. Look at you, man.
Oh, I know, right? I didn't even realize that until, who was it? To my buddy Dean and Jessica Jones told me. She's like, dude, you hit over 1,000. Because honestly, I really don't even look at that stuff.
Yeah.
I just go on, just do my podcast. I'm in and out. And then, she's like, you hit over 1,000. I was like, what? No way. And I looked and I was like, oh,
man.
wow.
That's hard, bro.
Praise God.
Hard,
all right.
Yeah,
cool beans, man.
Hey, you must be doing something right, man. You know what I mean?
I
guess. Know all the finest people. That's what I'd say.
It's more like luck. I just bump into people. I'm like, hey,
Right? For sure.
Yeah, man. But other than that, it's one thing I definitely want to talk to you about because I know you and a couple other people went to DC.
Yep.
That you guys went to go to that whole UFO and UAP conference or whatever that was going on at the Senate, correct?
I made friends with your congressman down there, my buddy Tim Burchett down there. I got the direct number to his office.
You gonna get him on your podcast? Just saying.
I will ask. You know what? And
you never know, man. You don't know till you try.
But what I am going to do is the next time they have a UAP hearing, I'm gonna call him up and I'm gonna ask him to sit in the gallery if he can get me in the gallery behind him, right? Because when I was down there for that hearing, he's a great guy, by the way. He's very down to earth, man. He's really tall, right? Like I'm a tall dude. He's like taller than me. And
I'll tell you.
6 feet, right? He's like easily 6'3", bro. Easily, Dang. Right? And so when I took my picture with him, he won't let you, if you look at all of his selfies, they're above, right? Because he doesn't want anybody taking a picture up, right? So he takes your phone and like holds your phone way up in the sky, right? And I'm like looking up at him like I'm like, hey. So if you go look at that picture, man, I'm like, but like he's really tall, right? But man, he's a down to earth dude, man, and yeah, man, I'm gonna call him up. He told me if I ever need anything, and I'm like, well, I'm the wrong
That's
guy.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna hit it up. But I went down to the UAP hearings, and I was it was an experience, man. The energy was really good, and DC was a hassle, but I was in there and I met some people, and so bumped into some of the big names down there. But it was good times.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So out of that whole thing, because I know you were there listening and all that. Mm-hmm. Out of all that whole thing, like, what did you gather out of it?
So there were 4 people that spoke in there, man. There was the one guy was was this guy named, I can't, his last name was Gold. He was from NASA. He was a complete liar. Used car salesman. I'm very, that's one thing, man. Like if you come to watch my shows, right? I don't I'm pretty straightforward when I would talk with it. He said NASA was transparent, which is a lie. NASA is a total lie, right?
We all know about NASA.
Yeah, I almost threw my phone when he said that, right? Lou Elizondo was there. He gave a very vanilla type of response. But I don't blame him. Lou actually muted me on X one time. He couldn't pick me out of a lineup, right? And I actually thought it was funny because I met him in the hallway. And I thought he was actually a nice dude. He's actually a really nice dude, right? Shorter than I thought too, right? But he's a nice dude, and talked to him. But there was the two other guys that were talking in there as well. One of them was a reporter, and I think his name was Rosenberg or something like that. It's on my Instagram channel, on my YouTube. He had the best questions, and what struck me is that several of the congressmen, like Tim Burchett is very serious about this. Like, this is not like a try to be popular or hip type of thing. The conversations I had with him off the books in the hallway and his testimony that he gave up there, I could also tell by the questions that they were asking that they were well read in and well briefed, because one of the questions I think Laura Boebert asked was, she asked if these aircraft were alive, right?
Yeah.
And so that is deep into the rabbit hole. If you go down to the 1973 Pascagoula incident, where two boys down in Pascagoula, Mississippi, got abducted, the UFO came out of the water, and they reported to the police right afterwards, the sheriffs, that the ship was talking to them. Now, at the time, and the ship was interacting with the aliens that were examining them. At the time, AI wasn't a thing. But when I first read that, I thought, okay, maybe it was some type of like AI. But if you go and look at some of the other, and this was 1973, no one's talking about it. Cell phones weren't even around, right? So yeah, AI. But we did go to the moon. Anyways, different story. But
which we didn't. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly. But anyways, so that's what they were talking about. But some of these people have reported that these UFO craft that they're dealing with are actually some type of, have a sentience about them, right? Like not just like self-aware, but like some type of like living like entity and creature. They're referring to them like as sky jellyfish. I don't know if you ever seen these, or sky dragons or whatever.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've also seen that movie like Nope. You ever seen that?
No, Is that like
yeah. So basically, it kind of goes along like the same thing. This UAP, this alien that's in California, has been abducting horses and stuff like that, but it is like a jellyfish. It is like a living organism.
Yeah. So very good questions, man. But I said, man, they wouldn't until, and here's the thing, man. So Lou Elizondo was Army intel. I was Navy intel. Lou Elizondo had a TSSCI. I had a TSSCI. And when you get that TSSCI, that doesn't mean, man, I know where the bodies are buried, right? Everything is very compartmentalized. SCI stands for sensitive compartmented information, right? Compartmentalized, right? You and me could be working in the same building and eat lunch every day, and I have no clue what you do, and you have no clue what I do. But when you sign that, right, it states that you can never make a movie, or you can never, write a book. Anything, right? So when Lou says I can't talk about that, like I don't think Lou's a whistleblower, but he's not wrong. And if he does talk about that, he will go to jail, right? So like I said, so yeah, and so I support him in that area, but I think Lou Moore is just trying to, Lou's not doing anything in public that the Pentagon hasn't already approved. So you're not going to ever learn anything new from like Lou Elizondo unless they let him or talk, right? So, but yeah, man, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was also, but the thing I took away from it is because the way my mind works is that one of the admiral was in there, was talking about the Tic Tac videos, and he also came out, and the biggest revelation was, the biggest reveal was that these aliens live in the oceans. And again, if you go and read the book of Revelations, where do all the beasts come from, man? They come out of the ocean, right? So Yeah, that's to the people that have been in this rabbit hole for a while. And again, man, I get into it a lot, man, with people that can't understand how I'm a Christian. I'm very devout, right? But at the same time, I believe in UFOs and aliens and all this other stuff. And how also I can talk about, if you read the book of Enoch, and if you read the Sumerian tablets, it's the exact same story down to the flood. The book of Enoch talks about angels, God. The Sumerian tablets just call them the Anunnaki. We're talking about the same thing, but we're saying it in a different way. And if you want to get real, like nitty gritty about it, Jesus meets the terms for extraterrestrial, interdimensional, right? Even though he's our God. So, and again, I don't think that aliens show to me, I think life is everywhere. I think aliens and extraterrestrials show the magnificence of how great God's creations are. There's life everywhere. God didn't just stop with us. The Bible says several times in several scriptures, those who live on the earth and in it. It says that several times. And the thing that gets me, I don't know, I laugh at this, right? I don't laugh at it, man, but you know I like to laugh, right? And so it takes a lot to offend me, right? Flat earthers will argue with me about the flat earth, but not accept the aliens, right? Or like they won't accept that, right? And I'm just saying, like, we could be talking about the exact. I don't think the firmament is a glass dome. I do think it's something that surrounds the earth, right? I don't think the earth is flat because I've flown around it when I was in the military. But I also do think that if you look at this guy's Instagram channel or his TikTok channel, from an above view, the fourth dimension, the earth is flat. So if you're from God's standpoint, look from higher levels, the 11 heavens it talks about. If you just go up one more, the earth is a toroid. It looks like a flat surface, right? So again, we could be saying the exact same thing. We're arguing over, tomato or tomato. But that's the biggest thing I took away, dog, is that they are steering the conversation towards a reveal that most Christians are aware of. And most people who are, again, on my Instagram channel, I get into it a lot. I don't get into it a lot, man. For some reason, man, I make a lot of Buddhists mad, man, and like Hindus. I don't know why, man. Like they get real mad at me, right? When I try to tell them that they're the 200 gods they worship are just the fallen, the 200 angels that came down, right? That's like but anyways, but yeah, brother, it was good times in there, man. But like I said, I made some friends, and then I didn't.
That's all. Hey, man, they'll let you know. If everybody likes you, that means you're not doing your job.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. It was good times though.
It's kind of funny when basically on like when you were talking about like the hollow, like with me, like the hollow earth theory and the flat earth and all that, like to me those are just minor things, but they're legit awesome, but when it comes to like the inner earth and all that, when in Job, especially when it talks about how when God was talking to the fallen, to the angels coming up, plus Satan was with them. And if you look at the different types of scriptures, of course, you go to the old King James and of course in the new King James and the CSV, HB, all that stuff. It doesn't say, all it says is when God asked Satan, where have you come from? It says, I've been walking to and fro on the earth. But if you look at the older texts, like King James, like the freaking Geneva Bible, all that stuff, it talks about I'm walking to and fro up and down in the earth.
In the earth. 100%, man. Yeah. So, and that's the thing too. And I do also think that I read the Bible every day, but I read it in two different texts, right? I read the King James and the NSV, and I'm like, I can see the translations, man, how they're slowly dumbing it down or laying it down, right? And so that's the thing. That's the thing that I believe. That's the thing that I believe that we're hit. I actually think that we're in the midst of something pretty wild is actually going on right now, and for a reason they started calling all UFOs UAPs. Or drones. I don't know if you caught on that. I don't know if anybody else has picked up on that, but they never use the term UFO anymore. It's always drone, right? But literally 2 nights ago, I'm in Northern Virginia. I'm 20 minutes west of DC. I was walking in. I looked up in the sky, and there were 3 UFOs above me. They were very high. My wife was with me. I said, look at that. She looks up and they do a curve. They curve, right?
Mhm.
So it's not a straight line. They're way past 30,000 feet, right? But everybody on the East Coast now is numb to this. They're numb to it. Yeah, drones. Okay, sure. Yeah, whatever, drones. Whatever they are, they're drones. Yeah, drones. I'm like, those aren't drones, right? And then when I see some of these things, and I did another video I posted up about these things, they're calling them plasmoids, right?
Mhm.
Have you seen these? Have you seen what these are? Have you seen these videos yet?
No, I haven't seen them yet.
No, they are more than likely. They look biological to me. They just look weird, right? They look biological. People have told me those what a craft did a portal jump, and that's the remnant. I wouldn't know how they would know this, but that's what they've told me. But there's something strange going on, man, and it's and again, you roll into to the drones and the UAPs and how they drifted all the way across the United States of America. Not even 7-8 days later, California's on fire. It's burning. People aren't talking about also Texas has some crazy weather going on right now. We also have a pretty, massive cold front going through, dumping snow, but also you had this crazy fog that was going on that was showing up in England and all these other places, and the fog had a weight to it. So if you don't live in the East Tennessee like Drew does and where I grew up, they call it the Smoky Mountains for a reason, man, because the fog banks down there settle no problem, right? So if you walk through the mountains early in the morning or whatever, it's no problem. You'll walk through a fog bank and you can feel the moisture in the fog, right? But these people were also reporting that the fog had some type of like a weight to it, a substance. They were coming out of it with like a dust on them, right? Some type of material, right?
Yeah.
So, man, something's up. They know. Something's up. They know. I mean, I actually go down a pretty deep rabbit hole on it. And again, man, like I said, people don't know how to take me. I think this is all orchestrated. I really do.
Yeah.
I think that I don't know if you saw. I mean, so Jimmy Carter died for the third time. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
I saw that. I was like, what the freak? He died again? Because I was talking to my wife about it.
Yeah, right.
They showed it on the news.
Yeah.
What was it Good Morning America? And I was like, what? I thought he was already dead.
Yeah, so I distinctly remember him dying one time. I missed his second death, but I did see the reports on it. And then the third death, he went down on it, right? I don't know, man, if they're doing that on purpose. I don't know if they're just trying to cause as much confusion as possible. And then yesterday I saw a clip of Barack Obama and Donald Trump talking to each other like you and I would be talking to each other, sitting on a tailgate laughing. And again, to me, that is 33-degree Mason behavior right there. Order out of chaos, man. I've talked to some people and they don't know how to take this when I say this, but they've propped Donald Trump up to be basically a golden calf, right? And so if you don't know how, again, when I made a post on my Instagram channel, it hurt some feelings on it. If you don't know how a Mason thinks, it's a Mason above all others. That transcends politics, family, and religion, right? So you can. There's no Masons in prison. I'll tell you that right now. You'll never find a Freemason in a penitentiary. It doesn't happen, right? Because it doesn't matter. It never gets to that level. So, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that they engineered the last 4 years to come
100%.
in right now. I'm your hero. No taxes. And everybody puts a microchip in your hand so you can buy to get your EB. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Don't rule it out, man. Jesus is the only way. I tell people this all the time, man. Like don't trust the system. And again, man, we're on perfect podcast for this. And the Antichrist is going to be loved. People don't
100%.
realize that. You're gonna love this guy, man. You're gonna love him, right? And so that's what people argue about the Bible, dog, and they don't read it. You understand, right?
Yeah, I know. They're ignorant.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. And it's crazy. Even Revelations, it talks about that even basically even the elect would be stumped by this guy. They would totally love this guy. because he's going to come in with peace and everyone's going to love him and all that. And he's going to totally win hearts and minds, dude.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing I tell people too is that he's going to be an economic genius. What are they talking about? We're moving into a golden era, right? He's going to be a peacemaker. He's going to make peace. He's going to make peace between the Arabs, the Muslims, and the Jews. Right?
Yeah.
Right. He's going to make peace between that, right? And for 3.5 years, it's going to be great. And then for 3.5 years after that, the greater tribulation, it's going to be a hot mess, right? And that's what people don't understand, man. And that's why I like Tesla cars, man. I do. And I hate the Cybertruck. I think it's the ugliest thing ever invented, right? But at the same time, Elon Musk is not, he's not who you think he is, right? I don't think his mother, May Musk, is a massive satanic witch.
100%.
Massive, right? Mm-hmm. You don't grow up in a household with your mother that's into that and she not put that into you. So when people say, oh, he dressed up as the Antichrist as a joke. No, he didn't. So he absolutely did not, man. And so that's the thing. That's the thing. And his brother is weirder than him. I don't know. A lot of people don't know this, man, but his brother, Elon Musk, has a brother, and his brother is equally as, and Elon Musk is a weird dude, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so I just try to tell people, man, like people call me up and they're like, yay, man, the tides have turned. I'm like, have they? And they're like, what do you mean? Like, you're not really happy? I'm like, what are you happy about? You're happy that the most evilest person that you saw on TV is not your president now, right? But what's changed? Literally, what's changed between, now and November? They've done nothing yet. They really haven't. They haven't done anything yet. Now, I'm very hopeful, man, that I could be wrong. I could be wrong, man. Like I said, but just be mindful, people. And like I said, man, if you're a real conspiracy theorist, man, or if you're real in this rabbit hole, you're always got your side eye going on.
100%, dude. Always looking for your exits. Always looking.
Yeah, get your side eye on, man. You're just looking around, right? Sitting down. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Not only that, too, I 100% agree with you on that, man. Because to me, it's just even though it's crappy, you're just slapping a different bumper sticker on, man. It's still the same.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, man. So again, here's the thing that I tell people too, right? Like Americans, I love this country. I was in the military, served. You served. Love this country. Look at our channels, man. Look at our content. We do. Americans are stupid, and I say that with love. I'll tell you why. I tell you why you're stupid, right? You act like you guys. I got to be careful. I'm going to say this in a way, man, that it doesn't, violate anything. But do you remember a time when we couldn't go outside? And the reasons why and all the other stuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And do you remember what happened if you didn't do what the people said you could do and how it was treated? But we don't talk about that anymore. Like that's
it's like we forgot about it.
Forgot about it, right? We don't forgot about it. And then, man, do you remember the rally that was said where Jesus came up and a person at that rally said, "You're at the wrong rally," and then but then now it's just politics. And I'm just like, okay. I saw a video of a person standing behind that person. It looks like their eyes rolled back in their head and did some kind of little freaky stuff on it. Americans are so quick to forget, man, that we're easily, I think, not all of us, man, but I think there's large portions of the American population, man, that are easily persuaded into doing things because it's just not that person. Like, I know I had a conversation with my buddy talking about like, yo, Canada's joining us. I'm like, great. We might win some winter hockey, but how does that fix anything in the Olympics? How does that fix anything over the last 4 years? Yay, Greenland. Never been there. Won't go. I can't stand the cold. Right. So,
yeah.
Right. So yeah, man, that's the thing. That's the thing I get in. People have been like looking at me like, we thought you'd be more happy. I'm like, no, I'm happy that we didn't get, I actually thought that we were about to get taken into the time of trials. I really do, man. I felt that we were in like a spiritual battle. I really did. I'm not denying that. I've talked about it several times. I do feel like there is a blanket of like a heaviness that seems to have lifted, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, if we don't put prayer back in school, man, if we don't make America more Christian oriented with the values on it, right? You can be around us. I got no problem with anybody else, man. But they come here with the full intention of we're going to make it our way. And we need to not let that happen. No, you want to come here, that's great, but this is how we do it. You can do your thing and I'll respect you, right? And that's the thing I get into as a Christian. We're not to judge, we're not to condemn, but we're also not to condone. And we're also not to tolerate. That doesn't mean that, like, so for example, if someone's doing something that, you know what, goes against my belief, it's not me to go over there and put them in their place, but it's also not me to go over there and you know, do it with them. And it's also not my way to go over there and be like, let it be around me. And so we need to come to an understanding on that, man, that we've been given a breather and we need to put some things in. And if that doesn't go into place, I mean, sure, I'm all about low taxes, bro, but if that doesn't go into place, man, I'm thinking that, yeah, you know, it's them 33s up to it again, man.
Yeah, I agree. Right now, I 100% agree with you on that, and I do believe that we were in a spiritual battle, and to me, it still carries over.
Yeah.
But I think, like you said too, I think God kind of lifted up, basically. I think God basically lifted up like the heavy blanket off of us for now. And I think this is a time of like preparation, of prayer, of planning, and, you know, just to make sure, you know, that we're good to go and to not stop, man, and to keep prepping on for what is to come, which is going to come. But yeah, man, I do 100% agree with you on that. And yeah, just, you know, like you said, you know, to me, they're all working for the same dude, bro.
Yeah,
they're all,
for sure.
They're all working for the same guy. So,
yeah,
you know, it's example. It's just like that good cop, bad cop thing.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
Yeah. And when I tell people, man, like when I've been around these types of individuals before, right? And I have been around them. I've never been around any billionaires, though. Don't get me wrong. I've never been around that level of like power, right? I've never been around it, but I've been around the lower middle level guys. The way they think and the way they operate is completely different than the way we think and the way we operate. And so when I tell the average person just really wants to be left alone, right? They just want to be with their family, man. They want to make a good life for themselves, do what they like to do. You and me are never going to have a conversation saying, you know what, Drew, this will never happen. You know what, bro? We need to find a way to shave off 100 million bodies from the United States of America, man. Maybe we should do something with the food or the water. That conversation will never happen between us. It'll be like, yo, man, what do you think? This 5.56, like the 50 grain or the 73 grain? What do you think? With this dog, man, are we doing headshots first? Or are we just doing? That's the conversation you and I are going to have, right?
Yeah.
That's the conversations they have, right? Because when I tell people like to think that a sociopath is the most dangerous person on the planet. It's not. The most dangerous person on the planet is a narcissistic sociopath. And that's what Bill Gates is. That's what George Soros is 100%.
100%.
His kid is an idiot. Don't get me wrong. His kid is nowhere near as George. And this is another thing too that I tell people. They're smart people. They are very, very, very smart. And that's the thing that people need to understand. They are extremely clever. When you look at people like Mark Zuckerberg, who's trying hard not to go to prison right now, he's not that smart. Now, he's probably very tech savvy, but he's not a smart guy. George Soros is very smart. He is very, very, very smart. And he's very, very, very dangerous. And he is several times on several shows admitted to being a 33 degree level Mason, right? He said it several times. He'll even tell you, man, you can pull up his old interview saying that his Masonic ideology is what drives him forward, right? And the Georgia Guidestones, that was a Freemason construction. And people, if you don't know that, you're not even really doing your research into it. 100% is a Freemason ideology, right? And they're dangerous people. They are very, very, very dangerous people. And they have unlimited resources and they have unlimited wealth and they have no problem attracting people into their ideology circle that will do whatever they want just to be around them. So we need to be mindful on this. And like I said, I want to see some, like I said something the other day, man, if I don't see trials or handcuffs or, or disclosures on that, then I know it's a ruse, man. Then I know that it'll never come forward. And so, but we'll see, brother. I mean, I'm praying for it. And like I said, every night I'm praying for it to be exposed and for God to make every world leader, bend that knee to him. Just like, in the Bible, all the great leaders in the Bible refer to themselves as God's servant. What do you call for your servant? Right. So yeah, man, we just stay vigilant, dude.
Yeah, I agree, man. But yeah, I'm kind of a realist too, because I think it's just gonna get worse, man. Just basically, it's what the Bible says. It's gonna get worse before it gets worse before it gets better. So, but yeah, I do agree. But I think if
Man, this show just got depressing, man. Did we just depress everybody?
Who cares? It is what it is, guys. But yeah, it's true though. But to me, if there's any clarity in anything that comes out, I think it's going to be just like the lower level guys, of course, like Puffy, stuff like that, whatever, like these lower level guys. When it comes to Soros, Obama, all these guys, dude, they're going to keep riding it, dude, till the freaking wheels fall off, dude. They're never going to get exposed until Jesus comes back. That's the way I look at it.
So true, man. Like I said, man, he's the perfect lightning rod for hate. You know what I'm saying? He's perfect for it, man. Like, I mean, and he's godless. He's he's godless, man. A lot of people have known that Kamala Harris was a witch, practiced witchcraft for a long time, right? Like she never denied it or whatever, but she's definitely not a believer in Jesus or God to begin with, right? So yeah, man, like I said, it's the world's biggest stage, but and I'm just hoping that people are mindful of it. So, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, not only that too, I like how they steer the cattle is what I should call it, like the news. I call it fear porn, right? Of course, like you said, like the big hot topic, was all these freaking drones. Yeah. The next thing you know, it's California, man. California's getting burnt.
Yeah.
And and it just that's the one thing I was actually talking to my wife today when we were out like sledding with the kids, and we're just talking about California because she has like a couple family members down there. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, that sucks, but how did it even start?
Yeah, well, here's another thing for you too. I didn't post this video up, man, because I couldn't double verify it, right? So normally on my channel, man, like if I not all the time, right? Because obviously I can't double verify a Bigfoot, a Bigfoot. When Harley sends me something, man, I'm like, all right, like I believe Harley Owens, right? So I can't just say like who was with you, right? But most of the time when I see stuff like that, man, I try to double verify it. I got a video, man. I haven't been able to double verify it. All three of those fires started in different locations at the exact same time, according to this video, right? And again, I saw another picture of a house burnt to the ground with the blue recycle bin untouched. Like it was
same thing happened in Maui. Yeah,
it is, man. It's the same thing that happened in Maui, man.
Energetic weapons. Yeah,
man. I saw it, man. Those dudes, man. And again, those are real. They are real. And another thing too about those fires, man, that I found I found odd, right? So if we have a lot of time in the woods, we have a lot of time in the forest, right? Wet wood is hard to burn, right? So when people say, hey, how come these trees aren't burning, right? Well, sometimes a tree, a very mature tree, the bark is actually a little bit fire resistant and it'll get charcoaled, but the tree won't die. And that's why if you cut an old tree down, you'll look for a black rim in there and its rings. That's when it lived through a fire, right? So that's not uncommon for trees to survive, right? But what is uncommon is for cars to burn hot enough for parts of the metal in the car to melt, right? So anybody that's driven down the highway long enough, you've come across a U-Haul burning or that's what I've seen the most on fire is U-Hauls on fire or a car, fire, right? And so normally a car will burn from the front, right? Like the engine's at, right? The front. And I've never seen a car explode. I'm sure it happens, man. It gets to the gas tank and like it explodes, right? But these cars that are burning in Maui, I'm sorry, in LA, they look like IED cars, bro. And so if you go and look at a regular car that's been burnt, Yeah, they get burnt up fairly good, man, but they don't disintegrate. So the fires are burning so hot right now that they actually are disintegrating the cars. That's rare, right? And I'll tell you why that's rare, because if a car is sitting on concrete, right, and a house burns down, the car sometimes in the driveway won't burn. So what is causing, what is the catalyst that's getting on top of these cars to causing these cars to burn basically all the way to the ground, right? It don't tell me it's the heat from the house, right? Because that's not always the case. Something, it just looks to me like something from the top, man, is cooking it. It's cooking it from the top, and it looks exactly, the footage looks exactly like Maui. It's exactly alike, right? And so,
Yeah.
yeah, man. And it's also too, man. It's very rare out there because of the way I've been to San Diego. You've been to San Diego a couple of times, right? You've been out there from college.
Yeah, I've been out there. Yeah, yeah. L.A. Also, where they have like the great. Oh my gosh, like that big national park where they have like all of the. Oh my gosh, like the redwoods, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. So San Diego is actually in a valley, right? And so normally the way the wind would blow, it's not. So one of the reasons why they're trying to say that this fire is so devastating is because the winds are blowing a certain way. They're not wrong, right? They're not wrong. But those winds haven't blown that way, man, for like, I don't know, like how long. So literally, LA just won the apocalypse lottery for the fires to start when they did, where they did, burn hot enough, and for the winds to go and cook and go all the way out. It's just too many factors, man, that have lined up. Say it's impossible? No, it's just highly improbable that would actually occur the way it did. But then again, man, if you take this as to be a standalone, yeah, man, it's tough luck. But if you take it, okay, Maui burned, Western Canada burned about a year ago as well,
Mm-hmm.
crazily. LA's burning. I've talked about this on my channel. A hurricane steered up from the Gulf and parked over Asheville,
Yep.
right? And sat there, and that's weird. All this happened within like a year and a half period, man. And throw in the drones, throw in the UAPs, throw in the UFOs, throw in just all the other, throw in the spikes and cryptids that people have reporting on seeing now, right? Like that, like all of a sudden, man, like all these dogman encounters and like all these orb encounters are happening. Paranormal activities kicked up, right? So there's something there, man. And if you want to ask me what I think it is, man, I go the same direction with you, man. It's done on purpose for whatever reasons yet to reveal themselves, right? But it's definitely done on you. I can promise you this: they will not let them rebuild. I can promise you that right now, man. They're already talking about it in
Yep.
Malibu. You are not rebuilding those homes. You're gone. And guess
Yeah.
what? They're not gonna pay you for what you think it's worth. It's over, right?
They're doing the
Yeah,
same thing they did in Maui, doing the same thing they did in Ashland City, and they're going to
yeah,
doing the same thing in Cali, man.
yeah, yeah, exactly. They're gonna say no. This some type of ocean preservation, or your permit was grandfathered. Whatever. California, look, California is downtown North Korea, anyways. When it comes to their rules, you guys are fools to think that just
Mm-hmm.
because you've lived there for like 50 years, or your grandparents built this house, that you're going to be able to build it back. It's not going to happen, right? So, and welcome to the suck.
Yeah.
Welcome
Yeah,
to
for
it.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. Like I said, going back to that, that's one thing I was talking to my wife about, and she's like, "How do you think they started?" I was like, "Well, how it looks, man, is it looks almost a lot like Maui, because in reality, next thing you know, in the news, you had all these freaking fires in California. It's going nuts,
Yeah.
and it's like Jesus, like what the hell's going on?" So I was telling her, "Look, all this to me, all this stuff is definitely orchestrated for sure,
Yeah.
for what they want to push in the future." So you know how it goes. Cause chaos,
Yep.
create a safety plan, show it to the public. Everyone's yes, let's do it. Then that's how they slowly start taking away our freedoms,
Yeah.
one
And
by
and,
one by
and,
one
and,
by one.
and it never gets done. That's what I tell people. Not only on those fires that they had kicking out there, I've seen videos of people, or let's call them people, the houses that weren't burning, they started burning them down so they could loot those houses. And so I don't know if did you see these videos? Did you see those?
Yeah, I heard about. Yeah, I saw them on Fox.
And so not only was there no water for the fire department to do their jobs, I guess every single cop in the city is in I don't know, San Antonio or Sacramento or whatever they're doing. They're not down there doing it, but yet people are driving down these streets on their cell phones, videoing it, what's going on, right? And to go down this even more deeper rabbit hole, LA has always been. LA is Satan's Jerusalem, and people don't believe me when I tell them this on that. And if you there was an article that one of the first things that got me into this, I wouldn't even call them cryptids, man. More of the alien side of it is there was an article published in the LA Times in like 1930. It's all over the internet.
You're talking about the freaking underneath the tunnels of the cities?
The underground, underneath this underground, cities. They said it was a reptilian catacombs.
Yep. Lizard people, yeah.
Remind me again, real quick, who told Eve, asked Eve about that apple? A talking snake. So again, man, Los Angeles literally stands for what? Lost Angels. I mean, is that what it stands for? The Lost Angels. And Hollywood often brags about being a godless town. They brag about it all the time. You see all the content that is made to mock Jesus. I can't even watch a show without them. The curse word I hate the most is GD. I hate that word the most. And it's the only word they will not beep out on TV anymore. It's the only one, right? And Hollywood does it, and they know exactly what they're doing. They're damning God. They do it, and they do it subliminally. They want to make that word the most common word. Out of all the curse words to use, if you drop something on your toe, why is that one come out first, right? And so people look at me like, because I got a mouth on me, man. I mean, like I said, man,
same here, bro.
So I'm a chill dude, man. I don't want to have beef, but I don't have a problem having beef, right? And so when sometimes my wife, I've really worked on it over the years, man. I got a tongue like a straight razor, right? And I won't use that word, right?
Yeah.
That word is just. But Hollywood loves that word. And when you look at back, man, if you go and you look, man, too, why I say it's why I refer to it as, Satan's Jerusalem, right? Is because he mimicked everything that Jesus did. Jesus had 12, disciples with him from the 12 different tribes. Satan had 12 families, man. They're called the Morgans, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. They're not even the Soros. They're not even hidden anymore, man. Right?
Yeah.
He had 12 as well. Jesus died in Jerusalem. That was considered, and when you read the Bible too, another thing that people don't read the Bible is that they don't understand is that God's not going to save Israel, y'all. He says God saves Jerusalem, right? The Lion of Judah, where Jesus is born from, his portion of the land is Jerusalem, right? He doesn't say anything about saving Israel, right? Like how Israel will prosper. It's not. He says that the armies will surround Jerusalem, right? So of course, the devil, in my opinion, flips everything around. So he took a city. I'm LA. And so all the debauchery in the world happens there, man. It's where, and again, man, when I go down all the smuggling that happens, all the, the smut, all the, just, the basic degeneracy, it all goes, that's where it all comes out of, man.
That's what everything stems from.
Exactly, man. They normalize it. That's a good word. Thank you. They normalize everything from there, right? And so yeah, and the fact that this is happening right now, what's going on, they're not done with that area. Something's going to go in there, and they're going to try to make it look as marvelous as possible, right? This is just my opinion, right? And they don't care about people losing their homes because at the end of the day, man, Satan doesn't care about you. That's a lie. The deceiver wants you to think he's on your team. He just doesn't want you to be able to go with Jesus, right? He just wants you to go where he goes at the end. He's not your friend. And so when people, getting these conversations with me about, you know, to this day and age, man. I mean, it's a shocker that in this day and age, people actually try to justify Satanism to me or to anybody, right? It just blows my mind that they openly will talk about it. Like, well, what does your sky daddy do for you? Like, my sky daddy, you talking about Jesus? He does everything. Well, you know, Satan's all about X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, what did you just say to me? Like, literally, that's how conversations have went, right?
Yeah.
It's like Satan does what? You know, he's a demon, right? You know, right? So yeah. Okay. But yeah, man. And then my wife looks at me like, are you going to have this conversation? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm about to have this conversation. Like, so I'm not going to, but like,
Yeah, you know what this call girl is called? Apologetics. We're gonna get into this.
yeah, right. Yeah, for real. Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. So yeah, man. Like, yeah. So let me tell you how this works, girl. And so, and I even made my post today, man. Like, I posted up on Instagram, and I was telling anybody, like, yo, if you're dancing with the devil, man, East Coast or West Coast, now's the time to quit, because the show's about over, man, and the bill's about to be due, if you ask me. And you do not want to be on that side of the, you know, you don't want to be on that team when it goes down. But yeah, bro. But you're 100% right what you're talking about.
Yeah, I agree, man. Shizo. Yeah, that's one thing I'm really trying to stress people, and also, of course, you know, with 2025, that's one thing I'm really trying to stress on people. Like, get your relationship with Jesus in order, man. Get your family in order, because honestly, time's running out, man. It's running out, and it's going to be here before you know it. And next thing you know, God's going to give you over to your reprobate mind, and you're just going to get fooled. And that's it, man. I'm sorry, but, you know, you're a lost cause.
Yeah, man. So I don't know if you ever get a chance, man, to go up into get this far north, man. But I went up into this place called Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I watched this play about the book of Daniel, right? You can go online and look it up, man. People fly in all over the world to watch this. This theater was massive, right? It was massive.
Hey, I'm gonna write this in my notes real quick on my cell phone. What is it again?
It's in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, man. It's this a play about Daniel, right? But every year every so often they'll change it. They'll make it about Noah. They'll make it about something, right? But this place is massive, and it's a big ordeal, man. It's literally it's the only thing that's keeping Lancaster on the map, I think, man, because it was a pure cow town when I went up there. And when I was in there watching that play, and at the end they do these prayers at the end, man. They have live animals in there and everything, man. It was great, man. It was worth it. It was worth it. And when I was in there and I was watching it, and I was specifically watching the book of Daniel, right? And this has relevance to what we're talking about, for what exactly you just said about how eventually God will just turn you over, right? So the book of Daniel starts where Daniel and three of his companions were taken by, you know, Nebuchadnezzar back to Babylon, right?
Oh yeah, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yeah, man. So yeah, look at you, man. You went to you don't skip Bible school, dog. So, you don't skip Bible school.
Dude.
Yeah. So he took them back there, and the reason why God handed over all of Israel, all of Jerusalem, handed it over there, is because of what you just said. I think it was Joshua on his deathbed, after he had handed out the portions to the 12 tribes. He specifically told them, do not mingle with these people. They will convince you to pray their way and to go into their gods. And it literally says, God, even one of the commandments God says, I think right before they crossed the Jordan, he's like, do not ever feed your children through the fire to Molech. He's basically says, don't sacrifice your kids, right? Do not sacrifice your children. And they did it. They did it anyways. Down the line, they freaking did it anyways. And Nebuchadnezzar, which God, if you read, I think it's the book of Kings in the Old Testament, talks about the conquest. How he said, my son Nebuchadnezzar will be my vengeance or my wrath. Nebuchadnezzar went down there and killed everybody. Yeah. And took everything, right? Took everything, and he took them back. And again, after Daniel never left. He said, you'll never leave. Mary settled down, whatever. But he did send people back to eventually try to reestablish Jerusalem for the coming of Jesus. But what you just said is exactly right. And people don't read the book, right? Right. Eventually, we stop getting warnings, right? Eventually, we stop getting the corrections that, the disciplines that we get along the way. And it's like, okay, right. And the sad thing about it is that when you read the book of Revelations, even at the end, people still don't come around. Even at the end, they still don't come around, right? And so, no, man, that's if you, all you thousands and thousands of watching these podcasts, man, I'm telling you, don't play with witchcraft. Don't dance with the devil, man. You don't need to. You don't need to do any of that stuff, man. You really don't, man. Put it all on God, man. Put it all on Jesus, right? That's all you need, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you on that. What's funny is that at my church, my Pastor Corey, we literally just got done wrapping up like the Book of Revelation, and he definitely made this. He definitely make this like make sense for me, I should say. So the whole time, of course, you have your freaking trumpets, you have your bowls, you got your scrolls, all that stuff, right? So he's like, the whole time people are thinking like, man, how could God do this to people? No, it's God literally trying to wake everybody up to come back to him, to create devastation, of course, all these judgments and stuff, but to create devastation, trials and stuff, to people to lean back on God. It's not that he's punishing people. He's just trying to shake the cage and wake everybody up. Like, wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, another thing too, man, this guy was postulating on one of the shows I was catching is that the Revelations, we're already in it. The Revelations it's been going on for 2,000 years.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying, right? It's like, so people are waiting for that first trumpet. Yo, that's been gone, bro. Like I said, we're way past where people think we are in the book of Revelations. We're way past it, right? And so when I read that and when I study it and I look on there, and I'm reminded of Psalm 91 where it says 1,000 will fall at your left hand and 10,000 at your right, but no harm will come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. And so I know this big debate's going on about, will we get raptured? Is this part of something? Is this the Galveston Bible? Is this real or is it not real? Yo, it doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. It does not matter. And this is where I had a really good conversation with another person, right? Who is, I don't know if this happens to you, man, but I have non-Christians who always try to think up gotcha questions for me, like gotcha, right?
Yeah, all the time.
And I'm like, but I always end up like folding them up like an egg roll. Like, yo, that was that's what your third grader ask you that question. So, anyways, man, so he's like, what are you going to do when God comes? What's going to happen when God comes back and sees that he's a recovering Catholic, right? So he's all kinds of angry. What's God going to do when he comes back and he sees that, how evil the Catholic Church has become? He's going to burn it down, stupid. What do you think he's going to do? Look what he's done in the past. What do you mean burn it down? What do you mean not burn it down, right? Have you not read the book, right? Like, eventually he gets to the point where his wrath gets so stoked that it's exactly what he does. He scatters the people. He wipes it out. And then he goes into like, so you mean to tell me that if we go and he's into crypto, right? So if we go into a full cashless society and the only way to go to the grocery store is to, with that microchip in your hand, you're not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it, right? And I know a million and millions of other people who won't do it either. Well, what are you going to do to eat? Well, I'm going to evidently have to go out and shoot a deer, learn to grow some carrots or something like that, right? So the mark of the beast doesn't say you won't be able to grow food. It just says you can't buy or sell or trade. No problem, bro, right? You're not putting that in my forehead. Stupid, right? So, man, you agree, right?
100% agree, man. That's why I'm a big proponent on survival, like growing your own food, hunting, survival tactics, stuff like that. Because honestly, we are going to need that in the future. For a fact, we are going to need that. And as brothers and sisters in Christ coming together, we're going to have to do as much as we can with the time we have right now to prep, to get ready, and to tell the story of Jesus Christ, just to get people ready. But not only that, too, if the rapture does happen, awesome. If it doesn't, I always tell people, look, if it doesn't, are you prepared to die for your faith? And that's one thing that me and my wife really talked about. Like, we really get into this deep. And sorry, folks, I'm going to go hardcore right here. Like,
it's me, bro. Am I bringing it out in you? It's me. I'm bringing it out in you.
So example. So example, like, it's. a bunch of the guys on my team, like we were talking, about, end times and stuff like that. I'm like, look, here's the deal. If the rapture is going to come, awesome. If it doesn't, I'm like, are we prepared mentally and our spirits and faith prepared with Jesus, not only to die for him, but to watch other people, for us not to denounce our faith? I go, example, right? I talked to my wife with this. I go, are you prepared literally if people come in and try to make people take the mark or whatever, or let's say like we can't eat or something, or let's say we get caught up by the new military or whatever, it don't matter. And if they're torturing our kids in front of us, if they're chopping my limbs off, or if they're raping our daughters, God forbid, or whatever, and they'll say all this will stop if you just denounce Jesus Christ. Are you prepared to, to say, I'm sorry, babies, I will see you soon? You know what I mean? Like that hardcore. That's how much hardcore we have to believe in Jesus Christ, just like the disciples did. They put everything on the line, dude.
No, that's actually a good question. That's actually a very good point, man. Because one of the things that this is going to be funny when I tell you this. Maybe you'll understand it more than most people will. I get mad at Christians more than any other people, man. I don't know why, man. I don't know why. I don't know why, bro. I get mad at them more than any other people. And all the time, man, my wife's telling me like, yo, why are you so mad? I'm like, look, listen to this idiot, right? What are you talking about, bro? That's literally not what it means, right? Instead of me. And so when I see people, I know, man, I know in the church, man, I know that when you have to talk a certain way, right? You can't go up there like we're about to kick a door down saying, the way that we like to communicate is not the way that you can't always communicate a message, right? But when I tell,
if you do, that's why they're called evangelists. They're not preachers. Anyways,
yeah, exactly.
That's why they travel, because they get kicked out of a church. Get out of here. And they go somewhere else.
Exactly.
But anyways, go ahead. Yeah.
Right? They just sit around. I'm a traveling evangelist, right? Yeah, I see why. Yeah. So, but yeah, man. So when I hear people in there talking, and when I hear them, what you just said, man, is absolutely a mentality that you have to. Only Americans aren't prepared for that. If you go to any other country, they're already going through it.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? We have guns, right? We have freedom, right? We almost lost that, but at the same time, we also have large communities, right? So, for example, not so much when you get north, you're not going to go down south and start burning down churches and then dragging people out into football. It's going to be a little bit different down there than it would somewhere else, right? So, but other people are already suffering that. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, when we let Turkey take Syria, the first thing they did was start burning down churches, right? That's the first thing they did, right? So these people have already going through that. And again, we talk over here about, everything's going to be okay, everything's going to be all right, and all this other stuff. But they're not having those hard conversations, man. They're also not having those conversations too about. I don't think they have. Look, I don't like when people cherry pick certain scriptures in the Bible, man. You and I have talked about this before, man. And there's scriptures in the Bible. For iron sharpens iron. That means hard conversations improve other people's faith and stuff like that. So if you're only having easy conversations with people when it comes to the scriptures, you're doing it wrong. First of all,
yeah, you're just drinking milk. You're not eating meat and potatoes, man. You're not growing.
Exactly, man. So that's what iron sharpens iron means, right? First of all. Second of all is Jesus came as the Redeemer once already. He's not coming back like that. Mm-hmm. He's coming back as the warrior, right? He's coming back. Literally, his cloak is turned red with the blood of his enemies. His tongue is a sword when he comes back, right? He told the disciples right before he was taken away, sell your cloaks and buy a sword. I send you out as amongst
sheep amongst wolves, yeah.
Amongst wolves, right? He didn't say go out there and let them, do whatever. And that's the thing that people need to understand. Also, too, a lot of people don't understand what the term meek means, right? And this is probably a good opportunity to put that out. Meek doesn't mean weak. The term meek, even if you go back into the Hebrew translation from it, meek is a term that's your most found used in World War II. When they would take a horse and they would meek the horse, and they would call it meeking. And what it is they would you shoot a gun around a horse that's spooked easily, he'll run off, right? So these horses were going to battle. So they had to meek these horses to make them be, battle ready. So basically what meek really means is those who can stay calm in war will inherit the earth. That's what meek means. It doesn't mean those who say lay down and let them chop your head off, right? But also what Drew was just saying, if you're put in that situation, man, there's only one answer, man. And you got to say, you know what? You got to ride or die with Jesus. And that's just how it is, man. And I pray to God that you never put in that situation. And I know a lot of men who would have to be gone for people to get put into that situation. But that doesn't mean we're not Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? Like 5'5". Yeah. Well, 5.56 rounds work on me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, like those 30-06 rounds, that'll go. Yep, that'll do it. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah,
NATO rounds, they work. So
yeah, not only that too, like if you want to go about at like a different way too. Okay, to me the whole test run of it was the want want. Yeah. So, and there's a lot of people at my church that took the freaking want because they were scared that they were going to get fired and stuff from their jobs. And I remember at my job, it was only me and like basically all the guys on my cryptid team in our area were the only ones who didn't take the want, and everyone else did because the place we worked at was threatening. Like if you don't take this by a certain date, you guys are going to lose your jobs. And we're like, well, we're just going to ride or die on this one. We ain't doing it. So, and then next thing we know, they overturned it and they're like, never mind, you don't have to do it. But it was funny because we were, example, like in my men's group at church, we were talking a little bit about that. And like 90% of the dudes took it and now they totally regret it. And I was like, hey guys, can I say something? They're like, yeah. I was like, look, to me, this was a freaking test run. Like you guys were worried about your job. You were worried about how you're going to eat. You were worried about how you're going to provide for your family because you were being threatened. You weren't putting your faith in Jesus Christ. You weren't standing behind the foundations on what you thought you're going to stand behind. I go, guys, this was just no offense, a poussoir test run.
Yeah.
And let this be a learning lesson for you guys. You know, you guys freaking failed it. You guys collapsed under the culture, under the pressure that the government was pushing on you. And when all this stuff happens, in the end, when the Antichrist comes to start pushing his agenda to the world, that's where you're going to see who are people who are ride or die Christians, because when guys as men, if they're not doing it right, if they're going against the grain, if they're following Jesus, well, you're going to have a lot of tests. Example, if you're seeing your kid crying because he's hungry, he can't eat, and you can't buy, sell, or trade, or if you don't know how to hunt or whatever, or if you're not in a community, odds are you're probably going to say, screw it, give me that way my son can eat, or my kid, whatever, it's just, like mentally, spiritually, you guys got to be prepped for that, man. And not only that, going back to what you said about meek, right? I was looking up this in Matthew 5:5, blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth, right? Okay, so this thing that really totally backs up on what you says is, okay, it's the quality of being submissive to God's will, showing strength under control,
right,
rather than weakness. That's what meekness means. And what you said about the horses, perfect example. But anyways,
no, it is, man. So that's what, and that's the thing that like so many, especially the dudes, man. So many dudes think, man, like, oh, we're just supposed to lay down and let them roll over you. That's not what that means, right? And like where you were talking about, so many different iterations of the Bible are coming out, man, and they're watering it down as we go along, man. It's just heartbroken, man. But like I said, man, at a minimum, y'all need to learn how to fish. If you need to learn how to,
That's right.
Need to learn how to fish, man. Like fishing's easy, man. Like if you need to learn how to fish, man, and that's the thing. If you can't, and like I was talking to people the other day, man, like I don't know if I can skin a deer. Don't eat for 2 weeks, and you'll be surprised at what you can do.
You can do quick.
Yeah, you'll learn, man. You'll pick it up, right? You'll be surprised what you get into, bro.
Pick it up quick, dude. That's good stuff, man. But yeah, that was definitely a good convo on that. But other than that, let's see. As far as that, because I'm the same way. I get a lot of weird questions It's especially last year when I was doing like my daily devos. So
Yeah.
I'm actually probably going to start that back up again because this book I ordered came in late. That's actually why I haven't done it yet. But I finally got it yesterday, so I'm probably going to start it up again. But yeah, like you said, I get like a lot of these weird questions, especially from people who are Satanists and stuff like that. But and that's the one thing that if I'm going to say this to all the Christians out there, to people who are just starting their whole Christian walk, dude. That is one thing I really push is read your Bible, study it. Like, and just like example, just like what what Joe said, iron sharpens iron. Get into man groups or Bible studies that people will push you, that will push your thought, that will back it up with the Bible, that really dig deep into these things. Because when that time comes, and it's going to be a scary time, but Bibles are going to be outlawed. Like the only thing that is going to be is what you remember. And what was crazy was one of my good friends, Shannon Davis, he's in, oh gosh, where the heck is he at? He is in Bali, in India, wherever that's at, in Bali. He interviewed this guy that lived in Russia, but he was a Russian prisoner for I think it was for like 10 years, right? But he got caught smuggling Bibles into Russia at the time, right? Yes. So this guy, he was actually a soldier in the Russian army. But at that time, the part he was working at, it was against the law to have Bibles there, right? Wow. So he was helping this pastor smuggle in Bibles, but he got caught I think it was like 5 years down the road. Well, they locked him up for 10 years. Well, the whole time, though, before that, he was just reading and hammering and studying the Bible, right? Learning it, and just memorizing it. He said when he was there at that gulag or whatever it was, he said he was there talking to people about Jesus. But as the years went on, he started to lose like the memory of scriptures and stuff like that. And by the time he was out, like he said he lost I think he said he lost like 3/4 of what he memorized. Wow. But he said he goes, that's the reason why I push so hard on memorizing scripture, because if you're in certain places, just like Paul was, just like all these freaking disciples were in prison, right? They were in there preaching the word, but if you don't memorize your scripture, and if you're in a certain places, God gives you opportunities to talk to people about them, and you don't know what to say. I mean, dang, man, God's giving you an opportunity to do it, and you kind of failed it, man.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I see that out there.
No, man, it's true. And the people and they always come in hot, man. They come in like guns a-blazing, right? They come in with an insult, right? Like, yo,
hey, slow your roll, man. Slow your roll. Hold on.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, yo, that's a picture of a dog man. Hey, what do you know about Jesus? come in guns a-blazing. I'm like, all right, let me talk to you, boy. Pull them off to the side, man. Yeah, so that's 100% correct, man. And that's where I think that's really right now. That's what I think the only thing we really can do, man, is stay vigilant, spread the word, just talk, fellowship, and just be prepared, right? And then, like I said, in a minute, if you watch this and you're like, man, I'm not an outdoorsy guy, learn to fish. That's the first thing you can learn to do, man. Yep. Just learn to fish, man. And that's the easiest thing to do. You don't need some bazillion-dollar rod or anything. Flip over a log with a stick so there's not a copperhead under there, man. Find you some worms. Stick it in there long enough, something will bite it, and then you'll just figure out how to eat it, man. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. What was that saying? If you give a man a fish, he'll eat one for one day. You teach a man to fish, he'll eat forever.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it, man. Yeah. I remember I learned to fish on cans of corn, catching rainbow trout.
Oh, yes, dude. Okay. Hold on. Quick story. Like a quick story. Okay, when I was a teenager, I used to do like these fishing tournaments and stuff. So me and my buddies would go there the day before and drop cans of corn, dude. So we get there early in the morning, we claim our spot, of course we'd be pulling them out, but one year we got busted, and then after that, like we're never allowed to go fishing at that area. Yeah, like, oh, you guys ain't allowed to fish at the fishing derby again. Like, oh man.
Yeah, man. I used to catch rainbow trout, man, with a can of corn, man. That was it, man. I would sit out there all day with me and my cousin, man. We'd come back with a whole stringer of them, man. So,
have you ever got WD-40 and sprayed your corn with it? No. So when you throw it in, it like fizzes and it attracts some more.
Really?
Yeah,
no,
try it. I haven't tried try it out one time. You'll trip.
Yeah, I will. I'll try that. Hey, okay, good life hacks, man, for sure, right?
Yeah, but anyways, but going back to basically on when you and I were talking about, it reminds me of this Bible verse. Oh God, I forgot what it was, but I think it's in Ephesians or Revelation. I'll find it and I'll send it to you and I'll post it. But
Yep.
it talks about how man's faith will fail them because of the things that are coming on the earth.
Right.
You know.
Well, so, and here's the thing too, where because again I take it from, I get it from all angles. When people come in, God will take what the enemy means for your evil and turn it for good, right? That's
Yeah.
in the Bible, right? Every gift that we have on earth, electricity, running water, those are all gifts from God, right? And when I tell people too, I'll even hit them with this. Even money is a gift from God. Oh, money's the root of all evil. No, the love of money
Is the root of
all evil. You give, if I give a homeless guy $100 to get a hotel room and eat, that's not evil, right? But if I don't have an extra 100 to give him, I can't help, right? So that's not the case. So what I think is going to happen in that is that life is going to become so easy with so much technology, so much medical marvels, all this other stuff. I 100% believe this, man, that today they could wipe out every single disease on this planet. I 100% believe it.
Yes. Yeah.
Gone tomorrow, right? If they wanted to wipe it out, man. Life is going to get so easy I'm talking about a hot minute, probably, right? You got to, now just imagine this, play this thought exercise with me, right? Like, you got an Elon Musk robot in your house, right? Fully integrated AI, right? Fully integrated, right? Basically a person in there, right? The economy's under control. They go back to 1940s level prices, right? Which they could easily do, right? Again, I made the conversation yesterday that I have high energy light bulbs, high energy filters, high energy water, but the power bill never goes down.
Right.
It never goes down, right?
Yeah.
I got these smart cars and all this other stuff, but the gas prices never go down, right? If they wanted them to be $1 a gallon, it would be $1 a gallon, no problem. They're going to make life so easy, man. They're going to make life so, this is a thought experiment, so where all you can do is all day indulge your passions. That's it, man. All day. You don't care where everything's taken care from you. And that's how you slide God right out of people's lives, man. And the Bible even says that God uses Satan as a barking dog to drive people closer to him, right? And so, or a roaring lion or something like that. It's one of those things in there, right? But you're absolutely right, man. At the end of the day, it's going to say people's faith are going to be, your faith's not going to go away because you're suffering. Normally when people suffer, that's when their faith starts to grow, because when they start seeing improvements in their life, they feel that their prayers are being answered, right? Your faith will go away when they say, look, here's the Anunnaki, which basically will be the Watchers, right? Like the Watchers come back. Here's the Anunnaki. They did this, they did that, right? So yeah, man, you just can't be deceived on it, man. You just can't be, you have to be mindful. That's really all you can do is not be mindful and be skeptical. I mean, like, get some friends like us. If you can't figure it out, I'll let you know right away. I'll point it out. We'll point it out for them, right, dog? Yeah, man. Don't buy that hype, man. So
yeah. Okay, yes, like you said, like 100%, man. And going back to what I was saying, I hate leaving. When I say scripture, I hate leaving without finding it, and I found it. What I was talking about: men's hearts and faith will fail them, and fear of expectations of those things, and which things that are coming upon the earth and on the earth. It's Luke 21 verses 26 through 28. So anyone wants to read it, check it out.
Yeah, that's a good verse, man. So yeah. But again, too, again as well, another thing that people don't understand is that if you read the tribulations, man, it's the tribulations are not, it's not for Christians. It's for the people, you know. I tell people this a lot, man, and it freaks them out, right? Like, a lot of people know John 3:16, but you don't know but you act like you just stop there and you don't read 17 and 18. If you don't know what those are, I'll break it down for you. John 3:16 and 17 and 18 go something like this. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. That's 16. 17, for God sent not his son into the world to condemn the world, that the world through him might be saved. 18, but those who believeth not, those who believe are not condemned, but those who believeth not are condemned already, because they have not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. Right? Yep. So 16 will tell you what he did, 17 will tell you why he did, and 18 will tell you what will happen to you if you don't believe it, right? And so people don't understand that. Hindus, Buddhists, I hate to say it, but there is no covenant with man anymore. Israel, you're not the chosen people anymore. There's a covenant with God and his son. That's why it says no man goeth to the Father unless it goes through me, right? If you deny me on earth, I'll deny you in front of my Father. There is no covenant of man anymore. And so when you go back to is that when Jesus died and was resurrected and came back, his church was called the Way, right? That was the original name of the church. But they use the term Christians as a slang term to insult us, but we actually think it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so
it means little Christ.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly, man. So yeah, man, we ran with it, right?
Yeah.
It's since day one. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. It's been that way for 2,000 years, man. So you'll never meet a Buddhist, a Shinto, a Hindu, a Jew, whoever had a near-death experience, come back and say that they were welcomed over there. They usually come back and say the exact opposite, and then all of a sudden they become hardcore Christians. And I tell people this too, man, a lot of times. I wish Muslims and Jews would mass convert to Christianity in mass, because they are feverish for the God, man. And they would be amazing Christians, man, with their dedication and their passion that they have for their religion to go through with it, right? And again, you can pray to a toaster for all you want. I won't judge you. I'll tell you that doesn't work that way. I say, but like, you can pray to that toaster all day long, and I'm not gonna, go one way or the other with it. But that's the thing that people don't understand, that in the end, every knee will bend in the end, those on the earth and in it, man. And so, and I'll tell you, man, putting your worries on Jesus, man, makes your life easier, bro. It really does.
Yeah, it does, man.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, man, like that whole peace that goes beyond understanding. If you've never felt that, man, like I've felt it, right? If you've never felt it, it's real. That is real, bro. And like when he says, pick up my cross, my yoke is light. I'll carry you. Basically, I'll take your burdens. You just carry my yoke, right? Yeah, man, those are some powerful verses, man. And when you've gone through it. Another thing too, man, is I tell people, I don't, not to keep it much longer, but I tell people, you're asking me about Jesus, and you're trying to get me with these gotcha moments. But I know I tell them, and you can use this too, Drew, and anybody else watching this, tell this in your Bible group as well, man. You're not very brave. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, yo, okay, I'm a man. I don't know everything about the Bible. I know more than you, and I can help you along your way. But you don't have to talk to me to know Jesus. Do this, big guy, because you're mad. You're pissed at something, right? Something's got you mad, right? Do this. Go home tonight, eat dinner, take a hot shower, get very comfortable, relax. Go in your bedroom, get in your bed. Right before you go to sleep, say, Jesus, if you're real, show up and prove it to me that you're real. Come and get me.
I dare you. Yes.
I dare you. Dare him to show up in your life. And then you better hold on, son. I can tell that right now. You better hold on, dog, because he will. He absolutely will. Call him out, man. Your problem's not with me. Evidently, your problem's with him. And I tell people all the time, man, God is our Father, right? And so he's my father, your father, Drew's father, everybody's father. If you've never grown up with brothers or cousins or whatever, sometimes your older brother does something, your younger brother does something. You're like, I don't know if you should do that. And they do it anyway. Dad comes home and smacks him one time, man. Everybody has a different relationship with their earthly father. So, of course, everybody is going to have a different relationship with their heavenly father. And if you don't believe it, just ask him to show up. But you won't do it. That's the thing, man. They won't do it because in your mind, you're like, what's he going to do if he shows up? You know
Yeah, they're scared.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Hold on. Like, well, what's going on? I don't know. Figure it out, man. And again, another thing too, I tell people is that the moment you call him out, your life is going to flip upside down, and you can't figure out why, because that's not the life he wants you in, and that's not the life you're happy in. And he's basically shaking the change out of your pocket, man, getting you out of it. All of a sudden, you're going to lose friends. Yeah, you're going to lose friends, right? All of a sudden, you're going to have a desire that I don't want to live in California anymore. I want to move to Arkansas for some unknown reason, right? It's example, Colorado is all the way to the Appalachians, right? Next thing you know, you're going to be standing in a parking lot talking to a dude, and you're going to his church. And that's how it works, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, go look on YouTube, man. Go. Anybody that doesn't believe, go look on YouTube. Look at people who have had near-death experiences, who have become Christians, and go look at people who did what I just told them to do. They called him out, and he showed up, and it got weird.
Yeah,
man. So yeah, try it.
Yeah. Speaking of that, it's funny. Before we end, I'm actually going to send you this guy. I actually had him on my podcast like 2 months ago. It was a good dude, man. His name's Brian Melvin. He died as an atheist, man. Went to hell.
Yep.
Came he came back and just flipped his life around, dude.
Yeah.
Like his testimony is insane. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, I'll definitely. I'll bring him on.
I'll send him your way, man, for sure.
Yeah, I'll for sure. I'll bring him on. Yeah, but that's the rub, man. Is that don't non-believers never go and ask converted believers why they converted. They look for people that believe and then try to attack them with some kind of ideology or some kind of like, you know. And don't get me wrong, too, man. I'm not. It doesn't bother me. I'm not unsympathetic because there's pain there. There's somewhere in there, man. There's a hurt, right? And yeah. I don't know what that hurt is. I'm the wrong guy to complain to about a hard life, but like I will help you man up. But I'm also not that guy. I mean, I'm not the guy that's gonna be able to talk. I mean, that's when you need a pro, right? Like that's when you need to go into a men's group and talk to a guy who has talked with other men about their things, right? And he knows the right. Me and you, we're more table flipping Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
like more like, don't bring me. You're tired. You're hungry. You get up. Stop crying. Put your boots on. Yeah, Jesus is real. Let's go hunt a dog, man. Like that's so yeah, man. That's how I lean into it. Like, I'm more like like how do you not believe, stupid? And that's the wrong answer, right? So yeah, there's hurt there, man. But like you don't need us. Go straight to the source, man. Go right to him. You don't need church. You know, again, man, one of the greatest things, man, I've seen, man. The greatest thing, man, and I felt this too when I saw this, was the things flying around on social media where it was like some people found God in church. Some of us found him in a parking lot at 3 a.m. Have you seen that?
I've seen that, yeah.
No, man, that's
that one hit me. That one hit me hard.
Yeah,
and it shows that guy screaming in his car.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah, man, like some people, like when I taught my sons, or I'm still teaching them, when I teach my sons to pray, right? I tell them, man, like I've had shouting matches with God. I have, like I've had hard conversations, and I've also, as a grown man, I've had conversations with him where I sound like a child, right? Mm-hmm. Like there is no wrong way to do it, man. Just do it. And whatever hate and whatever anger or whatever hurt that you have inside of you, man, you don't have to go into a church, man, because that can be intimidating. It can, don't get me wrong, man. Like you don't know anybody. We're in there singing, bouncing around and doing whatever, praying. That can be intimidating, man. But like that 3 a.m., man, that the steering wheel guy, like you were talking about, same way, bro. That hit me, man. You just let it out, man. Call him out. He'll show up, bro. He will.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good talk. Well, I'm definitely going to have you back on in March too to talk about some. I'm going to have you back on
too, man. I got some questions, man. I'm lining up some co-ops, man. I'm lining up some co-ops, right? I got some people that I talked to y'all. I don't want to spoil it, man. We're doing things different in 2025, Drew. And look, I told you, man, now you're in my circle, man. Now you're weird. You're my kind of weird, dog. I said like, so yeah, so you're not going anywhere, man. So I got some things lined up, man. I'm going to bring it up some 4 panels, right? I'm going to bring onto my show, right? And then we're going to bring it out, man. But yeah, thanks for having me on, brother.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, man, before you go, where can people find you if they need to get a hold of you, watch your channel, all that stuff?
So, man, so I'm if you go to my YouTube channel, it's the Ancient Enigma Files. You go on I'm at the Ancient Enigma Files on Instagram as well. I'm on Facebook. I follow all of Drew's content, so click on him and follow me there. But you can just hit my link tree, hit me on that as whatever you want to. And if you got any cool stories you want to talk about or anything, I bounce around a lot. I'm not. You mean if you go watch my content, we have a good laugh, talk about Jesus, but we also talk about the Book of Enoch, aliens, Bigfoots, Dogman, just all kinds of weird stuff, right? So hit the link in the bio and you can run me down. We'll get it. We'll get after it.
Right on, Joe. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, guys, I will have all his contact info in the show notes too. So, but yeah, hey, Joe, appreciate you, man. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to talk to you a little bit after, and then we'll head off. So, but all right, guys, I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you guys got any prayer requests or you guys got any stories or anything like that, hit me up on Instagram or go to cryptidwarfare@gmail.com. That's cryptidwarfare@gmail.com. Or if you guys got any critter problems, you need any consulting or anything like that, hit me up at c.wops@protonmail.com or c.woperations17905@gmail.com, and I'll have that in the show notes too. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a blessed week, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace.